One lesson that we all learned coming up, even in the Christian church, when it came down to vengeance, vengeance always belonged to our Most High. It does not belong to us. And when I say he delivers that punch, he always does. Only the non-believers think nothing is going to happen to them. They're getting away with it all. They don't have to worry about nothing. We're not going to do anything to them. That's because these people are out of their mind. And if you never learned and never had any understanding about how the universal laws work, not these jacked up laws that we're under now, because these laws are a joke, but real universal law that comes from the Most High. And one thing he says is, don't take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for the Most High's wrath. For it's written, it is mine to avenge. I will repay, says the Most High. And this is Romans 12, verse 19. Why am I bringing this up? Because yesterday I did a video on Jacksonville and how they are going exclusively after the Black population for jaywalking. Well, I just got finished watching Tareen Rain's video on the new fentanyl analog that's out that Narcan doesn't even work on. And this is a report out of Jacksonville. That sure didn't take long, did it, brothers and sisters? But let's get into this. And I want to thank him for putting that video out, but I'm going to do my brand of that same video. This is News for Jax. So this is also Jacksonville, Florida. New fentanyl strain too powerful for Narcan. Now, they have gone through a lot of trouble to use Narcan on these addicts out here. So much trouble that now you can get Narcan without a prescription. You can go in a Walgreens, a CVS, or whatever pharmacy near you, and they now have over-the-counter Narcan. The reason why they made it public, so as many people as possible can help their addicts. Okay? No one was concerned about using Narcan on the crack addicts. It wasn't used on them at all. They just got prison. These people get another chance and they get Narcan. So now looks like China, because your fentanyl comes out of China, ladies and gentlemen, have formulated such a powerful fentanyl that even the Narcan can't overcome the effects of this new drug. And see, the fentanyl keeps changing. And you can best believe China is doing this on purpose. They want these caucasoids gone. And they're going to keep upping the ante until they have damn near all of them wiped out, or enough to where they can take over world domination. That's what this is all about. And the caucasoids seem to be very easy to conquer. All you have to do is throw some drugs at them and you damn near won the war. Let's get into this article. Opioid overdose calls, deaths continue to rise as drugs get more dangerous. And just remember, whenever they figure out there's a new fentanyl on the streets, it's already spread. Okay, it's already spread. By the time they get the lab results and figure out what this is, it's already spreading out in the public. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is just not in Jacksonville. It's in several other states as well. So if this fentanyl makes it across the country, 2018 is probably going to be a record-breaking year in America. Okay, so this is Jacksonville, Florida. The tragic impact of the opioid plague seen almost daily by area emergency crews is only getting worse as new street drugs called analogs are making it harder to save lives during an overdose. So, ladies and gentlemen, my point is every time they do something dirty to the Black community, it's always going to come back on them tenfold. So you throw us in jail for little minute things, they'll just take your life. And that's exactly what's happening. Let's get into this video.
New information within the last hour on fighting the opioid epidemic in Jacksonville.
We just received this photo of Mayor Lenny Curry signing a pilot program into effect. It is a 6-month program through St. Vincent's Hospital, with the goal is to help 300 people in that time frame. Channel 4's Janice Harris is joining us now live from the medical examiner's office downtown. And Janice, this comes just one day after we learned 2 new dangerous forms of fentanyl are hitting the streets.
Yeah, that photo is a sign of the good news fighting the opioid epidemic. But behind me, the medical examiner's office is a reflection of where those dead bodies end up. And typically, according to local doctors, they're finding street drugs now laced with fentanyl, but also what's called a fentanyl analog, even stronger than fentanyl and more deadly. It initially came from the Ohio Valley. Officials say it's now here in Jacksonville.
Okay. This, ladies and gentlemen, should be proof to you. This is China doing this. China is the main source of all the fentanyls in the U.S., especially if it's a street drug. That stuff is coming from China. And if China made the drug more powerful and dangerous, that should be a clear sign that they are definitely on the path to wiping these cockazoids out. We don't have to do anything, Black people. We don't have to lift a finger. The Most High is going to use one group of heathens to take out another group of heathens. You can best believe it. That's exactly what's happening now. Let's go ahead and continue with this video.
The medical examiner's office gets drug overdose bodies every week. At first, doctors were finding drugs laced with fentanyl. Now they are finding more fentanyl analogs. Dr. Stephen Goodfriend says it's becoming more difficult to save lives in the hospital. Why does that happen?
Yeah, these analogs are actually stronger than typical fentanyl or heroin. They're more difficult. They saturate the receptor. So when we use the antagonist Narcan, naltrexone, it won't work.
Narcan is used to reverse the overdose, but fentanyl analogs are so strong, sometimes Narcan doesn't work. This trend is happening as the rate of 911 overdose calls to Jacksonville Fire and Rescue double every year.
Over last year, we saw approximately 60% increase over last year.
New data shows, according to the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department, they had approximately 100 overdose calls for 2014 and 2015. 2016, over 200 calls on average. And in 2017, they're averaging over 300 overdose calls a month. So where are these fentanyl analogs coming from? Dr. Raymond Pond, who is working on a pilot program to fight opioid addiction, says the fentanyl analogs were first seen in the Ohio Valley states.
We figured that if they're in the Ohio Valley, they're probably going to end up coming our way. And sure enough, acetylfentanyl has been recognized as one of the analogs that is now in our area. This is very disconcerting. It's just getting scarier and scarier.
A mystery cocktail that is killing people every day. And it's considered a deadly cocktail. You know, there are at least 40 different analogs out there of fentanyl. So there are many dangerous variations to this drug. Also, we want you to be aware that local officials are begging the public, if you have a drug addiction, seek treatment, because these drugs are deadly and could kill you the next time you try them. Also, we have an entire list of the drugs that medical examiners are seeing throughout the state of Florida. We have provided a link to that list on our website with this story, news4jax.com. Live the medical examiner's office downtown. Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Janice. And earlier today, we got a new report from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement about the number of overdose deaths in the state. Jacksonville has the second highest number of deaths due to fentanyl, with 281 people dying last year. The highest was West Palm Beach with 331. Now, when you break it down by age, the majority of people in Jacksonville who die from fentanyl are between the ages of 35 and 50. The next age group is 26 to 34. You can read the full report inside today's story, and you'll find it on news4jax.com's homepage. In our primetime special, Opioid Nation, we showed you what opioids are. They include OxyContin, Percocet, Vicodin, and Percodan. Drugs that are not opioids include cocaine, methamphetamine, ecstasy, LSD, ketamine, and steroids. To read the latest opioid news, including how this crisis is taking a toll on Florida children, go to news4jax.com/opioids.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have that report right here. And, you know, one thing Tareen Rain said is they did not put race in here. You know why? They're ashamed. And it's
well, the
not
countdown is on for the biggest event in Jacksonville every.
Take care of that. But he's right. There is no trace of race. You know why? This is impacting mostly white people, and they are ashamed. They're ashamed, ladies and gentlemen. They don't want you to see how bad it really is among them, not only in the state of Florida, but just in general. These are the drugs right here that have killed in the state of Florida that they found on the streets. And these are mainly street drugs that you see listed here. Some of it is by prescription, of course, like your oxycodone and your codeine and things like that. Now, when you go down to the report, it's going to show you like a variety of different charts and information about areas that are impacted. But as you can see, the entire state is impacted by drugs. Okay. And this is Florida medical examiners by district. All right. You would never have this amount of medical examiners if you didn't have a bad problem in your state. And Florida is really bad. And these are drugs that were found in dead bodies down in Florida. And I'm going to leave the link to this report in the description box, as well as the news story. So you can see it's really bad in Florida overall, in the entire state, not just Jacksonville. Okay, these are drugs found in dead bodies that were in the medical examiner's office. And again, drugs found, and you can see ethanol, cocaine. And see, the reason why so many of them are dying from the cocaine is because they are lacing it with fentanyl. And they're doing the same thing with marijuana. Okay. Cannabinoids, morphine, and you can see things that you're familiar with like fentanyl, oxycodone. So these are drugs they found between January and December in the dead during a medical examination. Okay, and they're comparing 2016 to 2015 of drugs that were found in dead bodies. And it's pretty detailed, but like Tareen Rain said, they conveniently left out race because it mainly impacts white people. You know, Because of racism, Black people did not get hooked on opioids like white people did. And it shows you a chart right here per 100,000, approximately how many people died from a particular drug. And this is a pretty extensive report. It goes on for like 64 pages all overall. Wow. And these oxycodone, which is an opioid. And it shows you the area of Florida in this column of the drug. And you can see Pensacola, which is probably the biggest count, caused 16 deaths present in 14 of the bodies. Death. And it goes in death by oxycodone combination with other drugs. So Pensacola seems to be a hotspot in Florida, followed by Tallahassee. And then Jacksonville, where they're writing all types of bogus tickets to Black people, they're number 4. Oxycodone death by age. And it seems to be people from 18 to the age of 50. Yep. So, like I said, it's a pretty long report. I will leave the link to this in the description box, and you can come out and take a look at this report. And like I said, they don't mention race anywhere in the report, which is a clear indicator this is mostly white people, you know, and they know it. But ladies and gentlemen, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell for my next upcoming video. Peace, family.